to approve the minutes?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor? And to approve May 5th warrant. Do I hear a motion to approve May 5th warrant?
Make a motion, we approve the May 5th warrant as written.
I got a question on it before we approve it.
Okay.
What's the 4459 for Macono sign?
That is a grant that Tom applied for, and we have to pay the bill, and then they're gonna reimburse us half of it back.
That's part of that MMA grant?
That was all the stuff that was in the hallway, that barricade and stuff.
So that's all on the up and up then?
Yep.
Yeah, good. I make a motion, we approve this.
All right. All in favor? Let me see. I lost my agenda here. Okay. So is Ariel on board?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Ariel.
Hi.
So we got an update for us?
What? Oh, so we technically can open June 1st. I've had a lot of different people say different things, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. Out of the 30 kids we have, I've only had 2 parents ask me, so
Okay.
I'm gonna have to feel around if there's even a need, if people need it. And then Amber brought up, we've kind of looked up what other summer camps are doing. A lot of them are waiting till July to open because the whole thing that we'd have to wear face masks is up in the air. And a lot of things would have to change. And I'm not going to open for any less than 10 to 15 kids a day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm probably going to wait like 2 or 3 weeks and then kind of put it out there and see how many people in the town would need it. But we can open June 1st. I didn't know if anyone had any thoughts or opinions on that, on if we should or we shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
When is the
That's
town building actually going to open, like the town hall?
We haven't really discussed that much yet.
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's where I am with that.
Well, a lot's going to depend on what happens to the health of the state too. Whether or
Right.
not she lets you open on June 1st or not.
Yeah, so it could change in the next couple of weeks. So that's why I'm not going to put anything out there right this second. I'm going to wait a couple weeks. Like I said, I haven't had a whole lot of people contacting me saying they need it. And we would really need at least 15 kids a day to make it worth opening.
Yeah.
And a lot would have to change, you know, on sharing and no bringing outside toys and stuffed animals. And we probably wouldn't be able to use the pools because kids can't sit in the pools all day, you know, they pee in them and all that stuff. So we wouldn't be able to use anything like that. So that's where I've been telling people that have asked that tentatively June 1st will open, but it's not set in stone.
Yeah. Now, do they give you a set of guidelines, Ariel, to open the state?
So we're technically not a daycare. We're kind of like I don't even know what we are, like a rec. So no, there really isn't. They took away all of the rules and stuff for daycares when all this happened. There's no limit on how many kids you can have, on, you know, the employee to ratio for kids and stuff like that is all changed. The whole thing is there's a lot of different places are not sure about the masks. That's up in the air. And I can't make 4 or 5-year-olds or kids with special needs wear masks. Like, that's just not just gonna happen.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was an issue on whether, and staff. So if staff has to wear it, then, you know, the town, we would have to provide gloves and masks for staff every day. So that is one thing that I'm gonna have to look into.
Okay. All right.
Did you guys get the order I sent you from Janet Mills on the stages and what she's listed under each stage?
I think I did.
It says day camps for Maine children is under stage 2, and it says June. I don't know if you can see
Okay.
right there.
Yeah.
And it says,
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
and then it says stage 3, July through August, and then it lists different things, and then it says summer camps. So day camps for Maine children are stage 2 in June, and summer camps are stage 3, July/August.
Okay.
I sent you the link to it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of confusion with stuff going on. I think that I've asked around it. I've heard a lot of different stuff. So, yeah, I'm just not 100% sure when we should open, but we can open June 1st.
Yeah. Well, you can play it by ear and see, how, if you're comfortable with it, June 1st, and get a list of things that you may need, we'll help you out with it.
Okay. All right, that's where I'm with that.
Okay.
All right.
Doesn't the COVID list from the state say it's phase 2 though, in July, not June?
Stage 2's in June. We're in stage 1 right now, and that's a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
they're
says,
not giving a date.
yeah, it just says the month, stage 2, June.
That's right.
And it says day camps for Maine children. But then stage 3, July through August, summer camps. So those are very split. Day camps versus summer camps are 2 different stages.
Yeah.
I'm just reading through it again right here. I got you.
The summer camp is referring to, the overnight camps and stuff where kids come in from out of state and they have to do a 14-day quarantine before they can come.
Okay.
Is what the summer camps are referring to for stage 3.
I wonder what other rec departments are doing.
I looked, and Leamington is doing registration, but they haven't put out an opening date, and that's all they say is that they don't have any set dates for opening. I talked to 2 local daycares, one that's open. Their opinion was don't open if you don't have to, is what he told me. Another open, but I almost think they're doing face masks. So like I said, I don't know if we would have to or not, and I just don't think that. I talked to Amber about it, and I just don't think it's possible to make kids wear face masks all day, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff up in the air too right now still,
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's just where I'm at, is June 1st we can open. And then, so the other date, I guess, would be if we could open in like the first week of July, is what I had planned on originally before she set out the stages, was to open in July.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, play it by ear, and if you're comfortable with it, then we'll do it. And so
Okay.
it's make it, you can have, a judgment call anyway, so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
bye.
Okay, next thing is Glenvale Energy. What you got for us?
Good evening. Thank you for hearing us this evening. We are here tonight primarily to ask for a letter of support from the select board, but I can give you an update on the project and answer any questions that you have. When I met with you back in October, we were getting ready to file an interconnection application, and we had signed a lease. The property owner is PY Estes and Son. It's their parcel to the north of Anderson Road. And since then, we filed the interconnection application, and we signed a second lease for a landlocked parcel in the back that's owned by Ricky Day and Sarah Day. So we got the second lease executed, and we filed our interconnection application. Earlier this week, or late last week, we met with the Hiram municipal officers, and we've had a preliminary meeting with the code enforcement officer. I see Wes on the line, and we met the code enforcement officer in Hiram. And we've had a pre-application meeting with the Maine DEP. We've done vernal pool investigation, other aspects of diligence that make sense for the project. Next week, we're submitting a proposal for the project to the Maine PUC to sell the energy under a state contract for new renewable energy projects. It would be absolutely ideal for the project to be selected under that RFP. And at that point, I think the project would be in excellent shape in terms of having all of the major agreements that it would need in place that would allow it to move forward. It's very helpful in these RFPs to have some evidence that the communities and the state elected representatives nearby don't oppose the project and are in favor of it. So, you know, I think it would be a real potentially, you know, a liability to the project's application if we weren't able to show that. We have verbal expressions of support from 3 of the 4 legislators. And we've got a letter already from Nate Wadsworth. We're expecting Senator Kemper to send us a letter. We're expecting Senator Diamond to send us a letter. We're not sure about Representative Zebra. He's on the fence. Apparently not a huge supporter of solar, but he'd be willing to support it if it doesn't rely on local subsidies. We would love letters of support from the municipal officers in Hiram, and they're preparing that, and we would love a letter of support from the Board of Selectmen in Baldwin. And I sent Danielle a example letter earlier today. So with that, I will yield the mic.
Yeah, we got that letter too. To me, it sounds pretty good. What do you other 2 guys think?
Right?
Well, the only thing is this is 4 projects we've got going here in the town now. We didn't do this for the other projects. I don't want to give them preferential treatment or anything.
Well, they didn't ask for it either. I don't believe it's special treatment. They're just asking for blessings to move forward. I feel comfortable with it, but
Yeah, I
pending
do.
all other credentials are met and everything's met.
Yeah.
There is actually a very good answer to Dwight's question. It's a good question, Dwight. The other projects are very likely they're heading to a different route for their energy, and I don't think they're participating in this RFP. They might be, but it is most likely that they're not. This RFP is intended for large projects that are tapping into the transmission system. And I believe most of those projects are heading into the distribution system, and they're going to be sold in the retail constructs. So I don't believe the other projects are participating in the RFP. They may well be, there's no restriction, but they would not be, wouldn't be the natural course for them.
My next question is, when you come to us in October, I mean, you talked about TIFs and stuff too. Is that going to be coming up next?
Yeah, we'd certainly like to come back and talk about the TIF. It's not, you know, necessary for this stage. A TIF is ultimately voluntary, so you could decline to discuss it. We could discuss it, and you could say it's not right for the town, but it's not the point of the current conversation. But it's not it's not necessarily a conversation we're trying to promote right now. We're just heads down trying to get everything together for these RFP responses for a number of projects, and that is you know, less of an immediate concern for us.
You guys got any other questions?
No, right now. Yeah, bad. What you got?
Gotta get unmuted. Just so I understand maybe a little bit, because I know you guys got a lot of different projects going on. So it doesn't sound like this project is a net metering. I assume solar. I see the panels behind you on your picture, Aiden. I don't know a whole lot about what's going on, I guess. I'd like to get more information if I could.
So that's correct. There's two mechanisms that distribution projects can sell energy. One of them is net metering, and another one is a competitive procurement for distributed generation projects that the main PUC is running, and those bids are due in July. Those projects, what distinguishes them from our projects is they connect to the distribution lines. These are the lines that are between a substation and retail users, and they have small transformers, 4 kV transformers, and lines that come off them that go to businesses and homes. That's the distribution system. The transmission system is upstream of the substation, and that's a completely different market. It's administered by federal agencies. It's run by the ISO New England, and our projects are connecting to the transmission system, so they're different. The one we're participating in, the due date is next Monday. So there's an initiative to support solar and wind, and both large projects and small projects. We're big, they're small.
Currently, my understanding with the new exemptions for wind and solar in the state of Maine, you would not be exempt from property taxation.
That's correct. Large projects, that doesn't apply. Small projects, and I think it's viewed as an error, and they're working on it. But small projects that are exempt, and you're talking about making payments in lieu. Large projects pay taxes. We pay a lot of taxes, too much, I think, for the projects relative to the services they use, and that is part of the discussion. All these solar and wind projects talk to their communities about TIFs, but our taxes will be. I hesitate to get too specific because A, we want to talk about the TIF, and B, we don't know the valuation, and C, some of it's going to go to Hiram, but you're talking well north of $100,000 a year coming off of the project that we build. That would be new tax base.
Aidan, why don't you also talk, I think something that's unique between distributed and utility scale is the cost to the ratepayer in terms of what our project's going to be producing.
That's a great point. We're going to sell our projects. I can't disclose the price, but we're going to sell our projects energy to main ratepayers for less than their current cost, which is, let's say for the sake of discussion, it's probably something like 5 cents a kilowatt hour is what you look at as wholesale power in your bill. The distributed energy projects they're going to be selling their energy for 2 or 3 times that. Again, that price is going to be set in a competitive process. But we're selling energy markedly less expensively than they are.
One other thing that I'll just bring up because it's something that I've been working on a little bit more specifically, and Aidan and I both come from a development background, and one thing that we've kind of I joined about 2 months ago, and one thing that we're pretty focused on is trying to think about how we can make sure that the project benefits the community and Mainers as a whole. Kind of philosophy of rising seas lift all boats, and we're working with a nonprofit in Maine to set up a workforce development program. I think that's pretty cool. We're going to be trying to target underserved folks that are kind of mid-career and trying to bring them into the industry. So that's one initiative that we have that I'm pretty proud of. We're close to finalizing that. Another thing, and I think we may have mentioned it in the letter, is it's not anything exorbitant, but we're setting aside a little bit of money that we want to put towards some type of recreational improvement, whether it's a snowmobile. We kind of talked about a hiking trail. It's something that we could do just as an improvement to a community recreational aspect. I don't think that the project's pretty tucked away, but we love for in the future, once it's operational, if any technical schools or even primary primary schools. If they want to come and see the project and see what's in the community, you know, we're not just going to be a asset that's, you know, just buzzing solar. We want to engage the community where we can. So that's something that's important to us.
Okay. Anything else somebody would like to add or ask questions?
So these guys, they're still going to have to go in front of the planning board and a public hearing and all this stuff and everything also, right?
Right, yeah.
Correct. This is no substitute for formal discussions about any permits or agreements in the community. So this is really just asking you to say that based on the limited amount of information you know about the project, that it sounds like it would be a good initiative for Baldwin. You'd welcome the taxes. It doesn't sound like it's going to place a lot of demand on local services. Sounds like a great site. Property owners are upstanding folks that, you know, all those just nothing more or less accurate than what we're telling you. And if you have any other points of support that you'd like to express, we welcome that. But, you know, it could be a very short letter. If it's got your name, you know, one of the select board members has signed it. I think that is really, you know, we got a pretty low bar for what we're looking for.
Well, I got no problem signing it. You, Gary?
No, I'm fine with it. All we're doing is saying we're accepting their application, basically. We're
Right.
our arms open in the town, new businesses, all for it.
Yeah. Dwight, what about you?
I'm on the fence just a little, Mike, but you know, I'm all for the solar power, but I'd feel better if I had the people backing me instead of just us 3 selectmen.
Well, we're not granting them anything special. We're just saying, yeah, proceed with the process, proceed with the planning board, proceed with all the inspections. We're just saying we're not opposed to it. We're not granting anything special for anybody.
You know,
And well, from what I hear from townspeople, they're all for it too. It's you know, it's clean energy. It's low key. You know, you don't see it. It doesn't. It's, you know, it doesn't hurt the environment at all.
yeah, that's
You know,
good.
Yeah, and you know, you don't make noise or, you know, pollution or anything like that. So I've been hearing good things about the solar panels and coming in this town from everybody.
I guess I'd go on board with it then, as long as we keep following through like we've done with everybody else, so everybody gets used to saying.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Just in case you can't see, Mr. Pierce has his hand raised. I don't know if you are if you're using speaker view, you might not realize that.
Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I just wanted to say I don't think we're in competition on this solar thing. I think it's a matter of the more of it, the better. And so by saying you're supportive of them, I don't think you're saying you're not supportive of other solar projects.
All right. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also add, I think the small projects may have an obligation to get a letter of support from their community. So you might have those other developers asking for this in June before their submission date. So I think it's I think that I'm not following that ORFP very closely because that's different to our projects, but I think that I vaguely remember hearing about that in some of the meetings I've been in. But you know, I would very much appreciate you expressing support. And Dwight, I'm gonna work real hard to get you fully behind this over the next year or so. So you just tell us what we need.
Oh no, I fully support the solar panels. Don't get me wrong. You know, I just want to make sure everybody gets used the same way.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So.
So you guys all set for drafting it? I'll put it on the Baldwin letterhead, and you want all 3 signatures on it? Just the chairman? How do you want it written?
If you're asking me, whatever way the board wants to take care of their business here, either would be fine.
Yeah, I'll put all 3 of us on. That way, you know that all 3 of us approve. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And it's due Monday, Aiden?
Yeah, and we, as you might imagine, we're scrambling because we're putting a lot of things together. We're hoping to have all of our exhibits pulled together this week. Tomorrow's our deadline, but we definitely understand that the letters from legislators and towns might come in late. So any time that you get to it, we'll pick it up. We could even submit it after the fact, but I'd rather not do that. But whenever you're able to get to it, we'll find a way of making it work.
On that note, I'll say, and Dwight, you'll probably appreciate this. I spoke to Senator Diamond's aide, Benjamin, and he said that Senator Diamond was fully on board and support, but he didn't want to get ahead of you all. So he said his letter was precedent on waiting. So that would be the only kind of thing for me. Not so Aiden's got other things on his plate, but the sooner I can get a letter from you all, if you're an expression of support, is I can chase down Senator Diamond. So
Okay.
That's my only concern, but that's more so I'm not scrambling around Monday, pacing around my living room.
Yeah. Yeah, I can stop by tomorrow, Danielle, and sign it, and if you want to
Okay.
get it ready.
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah.
A scanned copy, okay, Aiden?
Absolutely, yeah. It's an electronic submission. There's no paper involved, actually.
Perfect.
And very much appreciate everybody's help. And Mr. Pierce, I agree with you, and I think they're different projects, and I hope they all get built, and many more besides.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Have a good evening and stay safe.
Yeah,
You too.
Family safe.
we'll come back in a few months. Probably late summer, early fall. We'll be in a position, I think, to have some more substantive updates on the project's progress. So you can expect to hear from us next in August or September.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Ben, you're up.
Okay. So this is better weather than we've had in the last meetings I had with you guys. It was snowing and it was dark.
Really, I see the sun shining back here there.
Exactly. Okay, so I don't know how you guys are working this, but I had scanned everything to Danielle, so I'll just go down through the 4 different items that I need signatures on.
Yeah.
The first is a 5th supplement for this tax year. It incorporates a full tree growth withdrawal, as well as a $500 penalty for non-compliance.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
There's a supplement of $3,664, I believe.
Yeah.
So what I would need is, once you guys have signed that, if somebody would send me back a signed copy, that would be great. Then it goes to Deb to be processed.
All right, we'll do that. I'll stop by tomorrow and sign that. Sign all the other stuff. Hey, what else you got for us, Dan? You got
The second item is the letter actually, for map 3, lot 2B. This is the letter identifying the second penalty has been supplemented, and the $500 penalty. And this is basically they need to refund within 6 months by November 5th. This is kind of their last warning. If they don't respond by that time to update their or recertify their tree growth, that they'll be withdrawn and pulled out of the tree growth program.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's the second penalty, okay. That's supplement.
So we've already given them 6 months to comply. And at the end of that 6 months, they did not comply. We supped them with $500 already. So we've given them, a letter went out then and said, hey, we're giving you another 6 months to comply. If you don't, there's going to be a second $500 penalty. That's where we're at right now. And so we
Okay.
get 6 months on top of that for them to comply. So this is a 1.5 year long process, basically.
All right, okay.
So I just need signatures on the bottom of that letter. And again, if it could be sent back to me, we'll get it sent to them.
Okay,
Third item I have is an abatement. We were over assessing the number of acres on a property, so that was corrected.
okay,
It's minor. It was to the tune of $3,800 for a tax amount of $57.84.
that's what they're getting credit for, the 5884, okay,
Yep, $57.84. Yep.
yep,
So same thing. If once you guys sign that, Deb, if you would sign that and then send me back a copy with all the signatures.
Yep.
Easy. The fourth thing is a tree growth application. It is for map 5, lot 4A. We've reviewed that. I just need signatures at the bottom page, the second page where it says assessor's signatures and date.
okay,
I'd prefer to have all 3 of you, or at least 2.
okay,
And again, send back to me when you're done.
okay. We can do that. And that's it. Is that it?
That's all I have. Yeah, no, just of interest tonight was that solar panel. I mean, they've got a lot of things going on. And so just to reiterate, when they do come before planning board and things like that, they get to that point, I'm interested in knowing what's going on.
Yeah,
Because it is a taxable project.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest too, as far as the exemptions, the exemptable projects that we're talking about, I'm going to use the word exemptable, whereas he had said exempt. The other projects, the solar farms, the solar panels on top of people's houses, which we've sent out letters to those that we knew had them. We've done the best we could to identify. And obviously still, if anybody out there has solar panels on their house, they're watching this video in Baldwin, the application's available on our website and send it in to me if you haven't done so already. Because no project is exempt. It's exemptable. They have to actually fill out the application to become exempt.
yeah, okay.
Other than that, it's pretty much all I have.
So you got, all righty. Well, thanks, Bill, Dan, for joining us.
Yeah, nice seeing you guys.
You too.
Better
care.
than the snowstorm.
Yeah, right. Take care.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
And Sam Pond update. We met the other day on a couple of weeks ago. And we're moving forward with getting a bunch of items together that we need. We got some rope. You get that rope, and buoys. We're checking in on buoys, signs. What else do they have? I think that's about it. Oh, stickers. Did Ben get in touch with you, Deb, about stickers?
Who? Ben? No.
Ben McKinney?
No, he hasn't.
Okay.
He's got in touch with Cardinal. I emailed Deb about it, and Ben's working with Cardinal on the
He's working.
stickers.
Okay. All right. I think that's about it on that, I think. Do you think of anything else?
We still got a lot up in the air, because we don't know if we can even open it this year or not.
That's right, yeah.
And so I agree with you. I think we should be moving ahead and not wait till the last minute, because if we don't use this stuff this year, we'll have it for next year.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Coastal state parks are in her stage 2 of June, and state park campgrounds is July, August stage. So I don't know. She doesn't really say public beaches.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I probably just would have to wait and see what like Old Orchard's doing or York, and see if when they're opening theirs. Or Sebago. I don't know what Sebago's doing.
No, I haven't heard back from Sebago. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think we'll just have to play it by ear. Anything else on that? Guess not. Community center updates.
Nothing.
All right.
Stop it.
Remote planning board meeting the 14th, 5/14th at 7 p.m. Sam Pond committee meeting 5/21 at 6 p.m. We got questions or comments from the public?
Is Wes on at all now?
Yes.
I'm here.
You're there. You're
Our
quiet.
dog issue is going away.
Please say that again.
Is that dog issue going away?
I've heard nothing more from anyone. No complaints. I've been down by there. I haven't seen any dogs. I haven't even seen Emmons around there.
I was down there today after work, and there was a bunch of people over there. I was getting gas at the whistle stop. There was a few people there.
Well, from previous talking with John, and I'm talking 2 months ago, he says most of his car sales is on the internet. So his activity at that location is sporadic and not really a positive schedule. So that's all I can gather together as why the place is the way it is.
You didn't hear any dog barking, did you, Deb?
No.
No.
The fence and stuff where the dog was is gone up there now. So I'm wondering if the dog is, I hope it's gone and the problem goes away.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any sputter either. Anybody saying anything about it? So it's probably gone away because it was daily. It was daily for a while.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I mailed a certified return receipt letter to John Emmons 2 Fridays ago, and I haven't got the receipt back. It was addressed to his rental place there, and I'm only assuming that the post office will only deliver it when he's around. And I think the policy is they'll give it 4 attempts, and if not, then they return it to the sender. So both Deb and I have not seen or heard anything about the receipt yet. So we're just waiting.
That's all you can do right now.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose no complaints. The problems, if it hasn't gone away, it's settled down quite a bit.
Sounds like it.
No news is good news.
Yeah.
Right.
I had one of the neighbors down here last Sunday, so, I just want to make sure that things get taken care of.
Is that your house?
Come right to the house.
Really?
Yeah. He's been
That's
down.
my share of earfuls too, Dwight. I get it too. They catch us everywhere.
Yeah.
They've started work on Wentworth Road. In fact, they've hot topped some of it today.
Good.
Yeah. They started at the Four Corners down here on Wigan Road and Wentworth Road. So they've started that.
Rocky Dunn's final coated and finished.
Is it?
Yep. They did that the last 2 days.
Which
Wow.
road is that?
Rocky Dunn
Yeah,
Rocky Dunn?
they did that. They did Rocky Dunn yesterday.
and the day before, yep. They only put a binder on last year. They put the top coat on in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
That's what they did on the Senator Black Road last year, too.
Yep.
Our roads are in pretty good shape, really, compared to Sebago and Hiram.
Joe, you got anything?
No, thank you for asking.
I can't see it unless I turn the page here.
Oh.
There you go.
Thank you, Jim. No, I just listening in.
Good. Okay. Nothing? Alrighty. Anybody else got anything?
I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the office situation, I guess. Do you guys, I talked to the surrounding towns and see if there was any updates with her new order, if anyone was doing anything different.
Yeah.
They all replied. Cornish is still closed to foot traffic, appointment only.
Yeah.
Porter is discussing this week at their selectmen's meeting whether or not they should open back up June 6th. That's the first Saturday of the month.
June 6th.
Hiram is still using the bulletin board, tacking up paperwork. They'll go in, process it, and tack it back up, and the person comes back and picks it up.
Oh, yeah.
I listened to Parsons Field's selectmen's meeting tonight, and David was actually considering opening back up and putting in plexiglass and an in and an out, but there was a lot of retaliation because the hallway wouldn't enforce the 6-foot barrier. So they're still going to be doing registrations through the window. David was concerned because the boats and the fishing licenses, I guess, you have to have one now that's expired that only lasted until the end of April. So they're still going to do registrations through the window, but they did have a good idea on putting a tent on one of those little canopies and kind of enforcing it with cinder blocks so people don't have to wait out in the rain. I didn't know if that was a good thing for us to look into or not, but it's just kind of good to know what everybody else is doing and how they're interpreting her order, I guess.
Right.
Well, I can put a word in about Cornish. They do have by appointment or knock at the door and come in. Just this weekend, I created a plexiglass barrier on their desk for the clerks to see the customers. So they are somewhat open at a limited amount. That's all.
How do you feel about it, Deb?
I don't mind the window until, you know, the whole state opens back up. Right now, all the state offices are still closed, so.
No, I think it's.
People seem to mind the window. They don't, they actually like it better. They don't have to come all the way in, but when it's raining, it's not a very good thing, but.
Yeah. Maybe we could look into that, Danielle, about some kind of protection for people standing out there.
Yeah.
Because I think it's too soon to be doing that too, personally. You know, I think we could wait a while. If it's working, why bother it now?
Why risk it?
Right. Yeah.
I think that if we were to get a canopy, I think that would be reimbursable too, because it would be for the COVID situation. So that's one good thing. We'd have a canopy and we wouldn't have to pay for it. So eventually it'll take forever, probably quite a bit to get reimbursed, but we'll get it eventually. That's what Margaret said.
Yeah.
I got a file folder with bills in it, and I created a separate account too. So if you need to go in and look at what we've spent out of that account, you can see it.
Perfect.
Okay.
So you want me to start like looking at prices? What would be a good size?
Well,
They got 10 by 12 canopies right at like BJ's and Walmart for right around $100.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't seen a real long line of people waiting out front of the window. That would hit two people at a time.
Most of them sit in their car until they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just want to kind of protect the people that are really standing there, really.
Right.
So that's a good size, Gary.
At the food pantry and stuff, we got a 10 by 10 one that we set up on inclement weather. Like today, we didn't use it at all. But the last week we used it because it was a little light showery and stuff. It worked pretty good.
Yep.
You're going to have to stake it, though, because if you get any wind, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
Does that mean I got to put it up every morning and take it down?
Yes.
On rain days.
Why were you thinking of that?
They were saying they were going to try and the same thing came up in Parsonsfield, and I guess they were going to reinforce it with some pretty heavy rocks, cinder blocks, whatever. So, because David said he wasn't going to mess around with it either. So,
what about an awning?
That would work too, I think. But I don't know how much those are.
A lot.
Yeah.
Jen.
Jen just said a lot. I mean, you can get them for a couple $100. I think like a Camping World or Lee's for campers.
Don't you have a camper, Jim?
We do.
No. Can't we just take yours?
You can have it. It's broken. You can have it. I mean, that way it'd be easy for you to. I mean, look into that too, Danielle. You know, I know they have them for houses too, so it'll be easy to set up and retract every night. And
big. You're talking $1,100-$1,200 for them things, like a sunset awning.
Well, that's kind of extreme.
Okay.
I can poke around and send you guys some ideas on what I can find. Maybe there's a funky tent that's easier than the other one. So.
Yeah. I mean, we priced them for a camper. What were they? $400 or $500?
I don't know. No, that was just for the material.
For the material?
That wasn't for the mechanic.
Oh. That's just for the material. Yeah. Go ahead. Yep.
You can buy an awning over to Skihan Lumber up in, what is that, Ossipee, where Skihan is. I mean, they're about $160 for an aluminum one. But I don't know how they'd work out for attachment on the front of that building, that's all.
Yeah.
It is brick,
I know, yeah. We'll look into it anyway, Danielle, or both of
Okay.
them. See what works best. Anything else?
I hate to open a can of worms, but I'm still thinking about that hotel plot of ground that runs from the Sand Pond Fremont area all up way up 107 to Cram Road, and see if we can settle it. It was sort of put into the selectman's lap when Ben said that it's a large tract of ground and he doesn't know whether it's legal or it's illegal that it's been divided into and sold off too many pieces of property. Last meeting I brought it up, in fact I think it was the planning board meeting, and I put forth the ordinance fact that roads divide the land and make separate plots of ground, and Joe said he wanted proof of the roads, and I've dug up 3 warranted deeds that discuss the roads, and I think the land is all legal in that Hertel bought the whole tract of land, and within the tract of land there's 4 definitely divided parcels that the roads are the boundaries to these parcels. So each of these parcels between the roads have not been divided into 3 separate plots of ground, so there's no violation of subdivision. Probably you need to sit down, physical sit down talk, and I can show you the deeds and discuss more in detail the definition, but I think it's all legal.
Okay.
So it it's an in-house problem that can be solved in-house, and everything's there. So, we ought to make arrangements so that we can get together and look at the deeds if you want to be satisfied, or just take my word for it that it's true and correct.
Joe has his hand up.
What? What's that?
Wes, could
Yes.
you possibly send those documents out to the planning board before the planning board meeting?
Why, sure. I can create a presentation and have the documents included in it. Yeah.
I mean, so the planning board had a few days to look them over before the meeting.
Oh yeah, that's appropriate. Yeah.
Thank you.
When are we having the next meeting? Is it on? I'm looking at the calendar now. What is it?
May
14th at
14th.
7.
28th, the 4th Thursday, 28th.
May 14.
Okay. So it's coming up in about a week and a half. Yeah, I'll work on it. I'll try to get it out by let's see, Tuesday, by the end of this week.
Great, thank you.
Good. Okay.
Well, there's that.
Jim, I did have one more thing. I've tried reaching out to Joe Everett like 3 different times. He's usually responding by email, and I haven't gotten any response back on Opportunity Alliance's updated contract or what's going on with Maurice's replacement. So
Yeah.
I think I'll just go. Maurice is responsive. I'll go through Maurice and see how the best way is to get a hold of him.
Yeah, because he's retiring next month. Is he
Yeah,
retiring?
we're supposed to get a replacement at the end of June.
Okay, at the end of June. Okay. Yeah. Get in touch with him and do it now instead of later. It's
Right. I gave him
Yeah.
one more shot. I tried it again and told him,
Yeah,
we got a meeting tonight if you wanted to log in and chit chat, but no response. So I'll get a hold of Maurice.
Yeah, I see your emails to him. Anything else? All right. Make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
All in
We're
favor?
gonna do this